This is Comic Geek Speak, episode 167. Welcome to Comic Geek Speak. I'm Brian Deemer.
I'm Kevin Moyer.
I'm Shane Kelly.
I'm Matt.
I'm Jamie D.
And I'm Peter Rios.
Welcome to the show. This episode of Comic Geek Speak is sponsored by comicbookdb.com. Comicbookdb.com is an online database of comics. They are all entered by users of the website, and you can sign up for free and enter comics too. And the way this works is, unlike other comic databases online, this works in a very great way where everything links to everything else. So if you're looking at an issue of Fantastic Four, you can see the writer, the artist, the inker, the colorist, and then you can click on their name to see every other book they've ever worked on. And then you can click on the storyline to take you to show all the other issues that were by that storyline. And you can click on the creator and get a biography. You can see the covers of all these issues. You can do anything that you want to do, any information that can be entered in for these comics. You can also use it to track your own comic collection, and you can rate comics, and there's just a whole plethora of things that you can do on this website, and all of it is free. So I know everyone in this, most people in this room anyway, have entered at least a handful of comics. Peter's in the top 15 submission. You better get on that because you're getting pushed out.
That. I'm getting pushed down to I think I'm 13 or 14. But I was going to say, I actually been using it for, like when we do interviews, like research, like what the hell did this guy write, or what did
I use it on the show almost every episode. We check some fact by it. It's really
so easy.
It's really an awesome resource. What is it now? 70,000 comics, or near 70,000 is their goal for the year. I mean, they're definitely in the 60s. I know that.
And how long has this been going on now?
It's just about a year now.
Yeah.
They're marching up on the 1 year anniversary, I think, and so that's what they want to reach 70,000 for the 1 year anniversary.
Cool. And to enter comics, you just register, and registration's free.
Yeah, everything about it is totally free. So again, it's comicbookdb.com. And check it out. And if you have questions about ways to enter the comics or anything, they do have a forum where the real heavy hitter users and the guy who created it, they will answer your questions almost immediately, because they really like keeping everything in order a certain way and doing everything properly so that there's no misinformation in there. It's very well managed. So comicbookdb.com. And all right, this episode.
Earmuffs.
This is not safe for work, not safe for children, not safe for staunch Christians, or anything you name it. If you have any kind of hang-ups,
offended.
Yeah, you don't want to listen to this episode. We got Uncle Sal and Cousin Buzz to join us, and it's going to be an hour and a half of a laugh riot. But please. Be cautioned when you listen to this episode. Wear your headphones.
Don't blame us if your boss catches you laughing out loud and uncontrollably while you're listening at work.
And there are definitely moments where we get to learn a little bit about Buzz and his career and his inspiration. So it's not just a boys club. There's some really cool moments in this interview.
And,
so
and I just have to say fuck so I don't feel left out.
Oh, Jesus. So.
All right, so enjoy. Okay, we have on the phone. We have Uncle Sal and Cousin Buzz, and
Cugina Buzz, we like to call him.
Yeah, that's right. El mio cugino.
It's a messed up hillbilly reunion, right? Buzz Cugina, we call him. I'm surprised you're able to get him, man. You know.
Are you kidding me? Hold on a second. I got to pull a General Tso chicken out of my teeth. Hold on a second. Yeah, I haven't slept yet. I kind of stayed out a little late last night.
Yeah, I didn't figure it was possible. How you guys doing?
We're all very well.
Very well. Thank you.
You don't sound so good. What's going on over there?
No, it sounds good.
Everybody sounds tired.
Well,
are they still suffering from the double conventions, huh?
That's a hell of a thing. San Diego and Chicago. That's a hell of a back-to-back convention track.
Oh, I think it's just a 1 year long convention with little breaks in the middle, since February.
Yeah, I always view Chicago as the end of the season, and then September, actually, until the holidays, and then after the holidays, it's kind of, I look at it as the new season.
Right. That's like the last strip before you cut the loaf, you know.
Hey, listen, I don't like. I'm not going to get on the shit subject again this time. I got to keep it at least. I'm trying to lose weight, so I got to keep it.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's because you got the anal intruder, and we don't.
Right.
That's why.
Well, that's Buzz's middle name.
Was that Buzz? Was that a reference to the movie Top Secret?
Top Secret?
Yep.
No, it wasn't about the movie. It's just that there's this thing called anal intruder that Sal really likes.
Oh, okay.
No, but it is. Yeah, it's from Top Secret. Yeah.
Oh, now, Buzz, it's Sunday. Shouldn't you be dropping off laundry, or what's going on?
No. I try, but apparently if there's no tiki, there's no water.
Oh, okay, that's right. That's right.
Try to get that. What's the ancient Chinese secret? Calgon.
Buzz knows it. Buzz knows it. Trust me.
Some hot shot.
So now, you guys, did you get your ass kicked as bad with the 2 shows like we did, or no?
Oh yeah, I was so tired. That whole in between the shows, I was barely recuperated from San Diego before it was flying out to Chicago and getting all screwed up again and late nights and everything. It was tough.
And everybody had a good time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I saw you guys at the bar in Chicago. It's like you were holding up the wall, man. Shit.
Yeah, you were holding. You guys got like that segment. I told you before. You guys are like the Kiss Army. You had like the whole corner over there.
Kiss Army.
Which one is Gene?
Yeah.
Wait till Baltimore.
That would be Peter, right? Peter would be Gene, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Down in Baltimore, we're gonna.
No,
have
I think he's
10
more
of
like
us.
Paul Stanley.
Buzz is tight with Paul Stanley, aren't you, Buzz?
No, there's nothing tight with Paul Stanley.
Buzz used to see him hanging on 42nd Street like Midnight Cowboy.
Oh.
Oh, you mean like Bob Balaban in the theater with the cowboy?
Oh, you told me one time where was it? You said he used to hang out. Well, there were some bars in New York that you said you.
No, Paul Stanley. I used to see him near my high school.
Right.
On 59th Street. And I guess he used to live on Roosevelt Island near 59th. But so was Dee Snider. Used to live up there. Yeah. But when you see him in person, Paul Stanley's this little, short gay guy. It's pretty funny. But he's still walking around with the puckered lip. So otherwise people won't recognize him.
Yeah, got the makeup.
Yeah, well, I seen Gene last year at San Diego, and it's not a pretty sight anymore.
Well, now he's got that reality show coming out.
Yeah, I saw that. Did you see the size of his fucking son?
Yeah.
I mean, like Gene's a tall dude, but his son towers over him. My God! And neither kid's got the looks from the mother.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
Well, what's her name? Shannon Tweed.
Shannon Tweed.
She's been around a little bit, so.
He's a smart guy. He convinced her for 20 years not to marry him.
And they're not married. That's right.
Yeah. If you can do it.
Nothing wrong with that.
So, Buzz,
my wife is sitting here, so I'm just taking it.
Hey, Pete, man, I got to apologize for Friday at the bar, while you were talking to Paul Jenkins. I didn't mean to interrupt your conversation and reveal your secrets, Yeah. I let it out that Pete was hung like a horse, Yeah. So.
Yeah, you could have said that when I was around like some booth babes or something like that, right?
Yeah, which horse? My Pretty Pony?
My Little Pony. Yeah. Was it Shetland? No.
Listen, if you guys are gonna send this conversation down that path, I gotta hang up.
what, did you find God since we last
What's
talked to
going
you?
on there?
About like Atomica and about and about Buzz's artistic integrity and all that.
Jesus.
Because I'm truly an artiste, I'm not.
Right. Oh, I got the Eddie Newell piece, by the way. You emailed me. Nice. Eddie Newell.
Now
did
what? No, I had Eddie Newell do me an Atomica pin-up or like a very back cover, and used to be a big fan of his work. I just haven't seen him in a long time. So.
Yeah, it looks great. Man.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with Eddie Newell or not.
Not really.
Tony Azzavella and Eddie Newell did the Black Lightning series for DC.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's amazing stuff. Eddie's a really good friend and an amazing artist,
Before
I could barely hear you guys. Did you guys put me on like the Guinea channel, or how did that work?
No, I got your volume all the way up here.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, now I can hear you.
Yeah, you guys seem a bit far away. I thought it was just my Asian eyes.
We just figured we figured we wouldn't have to work so hard. Just let you guys talk.
No, it's like my wife tells me it's like you get on there and you never shut up. You never let those guys talk. So I figured I'm going to let you guys, ask me, embarrassing questions, and then I'll just, incriminate.
Dodge them, yeah. Blame it on me, right?
I'll incriminate myself.
Well, did you guys have any interesting stories from the last couple cons? Because we've seen you everywhere.
I need to lose weight.
That's the same story for the past 3 years.
Listen, I'm very sensitive feelings, and it's like if you're gonna constantly insult my weight and my hairy pair of man tits, I'm not gonna go on any further. But I was at San Diego and I was getting out of the shower. I know this gives a visual for Buzz.
Yeah.
And I had a really sharp pain in my chest. So I says, it's like, Jesus Christ, what's going on? And then I realized I was standing on one of my tits. So I says, man, it's time for me to lose some weight. It's time for me to say, hey, you know what, guys, I need to cut out 8th and 9th helpings. Every time I I floss, I find like a rib bone between my teeth. And I just decided, man, I need to when they give you a suppository the size of a loaf of bread, you're in a lot of trouble. So the doctor wants me to lose like 60 pounds, and we'll see what happens.
Wow.
So next
So
time,
when you guys see me there next year, and I look like Wesley Snipes, and Demolition Man, then don't start.
Well, you're gonna lose weight and get a really dark tan. How are you gonna manage that?
Well,
And dye your hair blonde.
Go with the large penis, but if
Well, ask Pete. He may have the secret.
No, we already established.
Pete's
That's
got
My
the
Little
fist
Pony.
bump, doesn't he?
The sweetest penis enlarger.
It's not mine, baby.
man.
all I know is that San Diego is like the closest thing to like Tiananmen Square that I've ever seen in my life, man.
Hey, man, you stop one tank once and everybody get on you for it.
It's not even a con anymore, man. It's like Sundance or something. I don't even know what you guys would call it anymore. It's just gotten out of control.
It's like bumper
Did
cars.
any of you guys actually went to the Sam Jackson panel?
no.
No?
No,
Yeah,
to
I
get
thought
there.
maybe, people like getting in line to see if he's going to cuss or something,
Now, it
That's
takes
why.
I saw him on the floor a little bit, and it just got out of control real fast.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Kind of pulled him out of there.
Yeah.
Once a couple guys started taking pictures, it got kind of ugly, and then they pulled him out of there. So
And then Nicolas Cage showed up and nobody cared. It was nice.
he looks too thin. I don't know what happened. to
Man,
Nicolas
he's an
Cage.
old dude, man, with
that
a
what it
bad
is?
rug. Yeah.
I don't know, man. He's related to Coppola, so I figured anybody related, the 6 degrees of separation from The Godfather, I gotta like the guy.
Well, that's because you're a guinea.
Yeah, big shot.
I have the same thing with Jackie Chan,
Bruce, every time Buzz sees Carradine at cons, he gives him dirty looks because of the way they treated Bruce Lee. He went,
Give him the shaft on Kung Fu.
Kung Fu my ass.
yeah.
Just run up
Don't
and
get
give
me
it a
started
finger.
with that. 20 years later, they have yet another TV show on. He's still this white guy fucking playing the Chinese dude again.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm over that now.
So, okay, while we got a little moment here, Buzz, we got to introduce you to those people who don't really know who you are real quick. Just like, who
That's
who
a
is
good
Buzz?
thing, man.
What's that?
He's
Too
one
many
of,
people know about me, and then all of a sudden the creditors start
let me
knocking
tell
the
you
fucking
something about this guy. He is probably hands down, in my opinion, he's one of the best, I would say top 3-4 guys in the business. And if you're not familiar with his work, I'm telling you, just in terms, whether you're an artist or whether you're a fan, just in terms of the guy's skill level, just in terms of using a brush, it just doesn't exist anymore. I mean, what Buzz? There's maybe 2 or 3 guys that even use a brush anymore, or
Yeah. Well, all right, Sal. I won't say any more fat jokes. All right. Thank you.
Just Buzz.com.
Thank you for the intro. Yeah.
No, seriously, he's one of those guys that he uses a brush, to ink, and he does these, cross hatching and tiny lines. It's one of those skills that most guys today just don't do anymore.
These are skills that pretty much you need just to break into business back in the days, It's just that you don't need too many tricks in the bags now these days anymore, because you can get the computer guys to, ink the stuff and color it up, and, so. But, yeah, it's just an old school, I'm just an old school artist.
Well, you have some history there. You used to be a Ramita Raider, right?
Back in the days, yes. When I was in high school, I was a Ramita Raider. And there was
this guy. Let me tell you. This guy is one of those. It's one of those urban legends. He walked into Marvel at 18 years old, and they gave him an X book.
Yeah.
I mean, how many guys do you know that happens to?
Yeah, but other guys would have taken the job and finished it, though. I think I was like trying to hit on the intern or something. Too busy, but no, yeah.
This guy got offered a top 10 book when he was 18 years old, and that's one of those things where you talk about, hey, that kind of stuff doesn't happen anymore. But he had the skills in those days, and it's if you look at even some of his older stuff when he was a teenager.
Oh, they're horrible.
Yeah, okay. While I was like still making little ones out of big ones, this guy was doing while I was pulling off the orange jumpsuit, picking up garbage on the side of the highway, this guy was getting,
Well, yeah, but the thing is, one of my, top 10 favorite artists is actually Sal right here. I'll tell you why. This guy has a style that just, it's so very much his own, yet it has elements from, like, everything from the European stuff to Essence of Kirby, to Giga, to, Drew Lay. All these names, half of them he probably don't even know.
No, I know who they are.
Now you do.
Essence of Kirby was a porno movie.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And I remember, this was like, about 12, 13 years ago when we started hanging out. Mm-hmm. And he would have this portfolio full of this, like, amazing stuff. And every editor he showed it to, who was looking for it, like a Jim Lee or Rob Liefeld clone, would look at his work and they didn't even know how to critique it, And
Buzz liked it because every editor that didn't like me didn't like him because he usually either tried to fuck their girlfriend or he did. This guy in the day when I met him was known more for. They had to constantly keep getting new. When he was working at Harris, he was doing Vampy. He was working on Vampirella. You were doing covers or interiors or both?
No, I started the color series, and then later on I started doing all the special covers and such. I just didn't want to do it anymore. But yeah,
the truth of it was that they got tired of constantly having to replace the Vampirella model because it was a situation where Buzz was always kind of had something to do with either like creating paternity suits.
She suddenly couldn't fit into that outfit.
It's all for reference.
Yeah, it's all for reference.
We knew
one of the first San Diego's I was at with Buzz. There were 16 of us at the DoubleTree staying in a room.
Yeah. The thing is, everyone else had their own room. They just didn't want to stay in their own room, so they all just crashed in my suite. And it was a great time, I mean, this is as close as I ever want to be, to a bunch of men in enclosed areas.
I had to sleep in the bathtub that year.
Back then, Sal fits in the bathtub.
Oh! Fit in the bathtub.
Here we go, right back.
We were so close, guys. We were bonding. We were making nice. It was foreplay, and then all of a sudden,
he pulled out.
He just told me to pull my pants down, and it just.
Because I know what story you're getting to. So
no, I didn't.
I
just said that in the early days when we used to stay at the DoubleTree, Buzz was the only one that actually was getting any professional work or had a pot to piss in. So he was like Lorne Green in Battlestar Galactica, jag-offs that used to gravitate towards him. Of course, the Vampy models didn't hurt the equation. But it just, every time I would go back into the room, there were more people staying in this hotel room. So it finally got like Ellis Island in there, and there was nowhere to sleep anymore. So I slept in the bathtub.
Well, I couldn't say no to any of the good old boys. I mean, they just need a place to crash, or they needed a pass to get into the convention. I used to abuse that power, by the way. Remember, San Diego, I would go up to the registration and just like demand that I get like 10, 20 passes.
Right. No, my favorite was one of the first times that I was in New York with the guy. He would take covers based on whether he needed drinking money or not. So he would go into Harris, and they were like, "Hey, Buzz, we need a Vampirella cover from you." And he'd be like, "Well, all right, when do you need it?" And they're like, "Well, tomorrow." So he would just stay up all night, talk on the phone to one of his skanks, and then by the morning, you'd wake up in the morning, and there'd be beer cans all over, and Buzz would be, the cover would be sitting in the corner, it'd be finished, and we would just be all finally waking up.
Now we'll go in the office, get the check.
Go get the check.
Sit down the street and then off to the bar. Yeah.
Right, and go right to the bar.
Yeah. See, that's the thing about art. All you need is motivation.
Yeah. Peter does that now at cons, I know.
I just jump on your bar tab, Sal.
Yeah. I love that because I always look at my bar tab and I'm always curious who orders all these gay drinks. I don't mind paying for drink, but when I look on there and I see like virgin daiquiri, and I go, who the hell, like, people, when you open up a bar tab, start ordering like 12-year-old scotch and like, chicken wings, and I'm like, I thought we were drinking here, guys. Who ordered all this shit?
Yeah, there are so many different types of drink. They just compile into one, like a fuzzy blowjob on the beach.
That's right. Yeah, no, I had to. When I was at the Hyatt, the lady said I had to close out my tab from last year's week that I forgot to close out. So I was like, well, can't we just run it over? And she's like, no, the card expired.
Yeah, it was getting close to the national debt. Yeah.
Well, I can barely remember Chicago this year. I was so tired that it was just kind of going through the motions at that point.
Tired from San Diego?
Yeah, I was just absolutely spent from San Diego because when they get back, you're catching up on sleep more than anything else.
It's true. Yeah.
You're no when you were in San Diego, I was watching you work, man.
Yeah.
It's all business.
I was gonna say that you were all, you weren't talking or bullshitting. You were
strictly business.
In that frickin' suit, those suits you were wearing.
That's what I saw. The suit on one of the Flickr pages.
He's like Tony Stark. He's Iron Man in fucking San Diego.
I'm a painted whore when I go to San Diego, man.
He's got to answer to the, to bald baby Hughes.
I got to answer. You said bald. I never said bald. Listen, guys. You don't think I eat off Atomica, do you? I'd be a lot thinner if I was eating off of that book. I mean, it's like, it's basically, I have two gears. It's how I make a living, and then there's the book that I put out. And Atomic is great, but when I started it, my goal was to break even, because an independent book is really a push. So I had no delusions of putting out an independent book in terms of being able to just make a living off of it. So I mean, it's like Alex and I have a great relationship in the way he lets me do what I want at the shows, and San Diego's probably our biggest show in terms of original art sales. So I just try to pull out all the stops and try to do my best, Don impression when I'm there to try to separate these guys from as much money as I can. So
yeah, I saw some people coming up kissing your ring and all that stuff.
There was not a lot of ring kissing, but there's definitely a lot of bullshitting.
Yeah. You had the best booth in with the couch and everything.
Yeah, the nice leather couches and everything. It's classy.
I tried the couches. That actually was probably me. You mistook me for the leather couch. No, we tried it. It used to be where you could go and you could set up and you could kind of play. But now we're at that kind of weird time now where Hollywood seems to be plugged into comics, and especially on the weekend, you get all these LA people coming up to the show. That you've got a lot of producers and a lot of Hollywood people that really are into this stuff, and they've got deep pockets. So I think we're going to have a good run with San Diego for at least the next couple of years.
All right. Plus,
it's going to be crazy.
You guys have the best comfortable chairs there too, because the chairs that they provide you at the shows. I mean, I think they used to be the lunch tray in junior high school.
Yeah.
They just pop some pigs on it. Yeah.
No, they're like the ones at the bus terminal.
So, Buzz, what about what are you looking to do? Are you just the conventions, just commissions and things like that?
No. It's
what's
like,
on your plate?
My mainstay at work. I mean, it's I do a lot of advertising.
Oh, okay.
It pays the bills. But I mean, if you tell the truth, if you're going to be a freelancer, there aren't that much money left in the business, because even a contract artist can only do about 22 pages a month. It was like about $4,000. That's not enough for me. My overhead's a lot more than that. So I'm taking care of my folks and bills and stuff. So I do a lot of advertising, you know. Also applies like if you're like some 19-year-old artist who's lived with their mom, you know, in a basement, you have no overhead. $4,000's a lot of money. But for like, you know, for like, you know, a guy like me or, you know, any regular dude with mortgage and, you know, rent and bills, that's not enough, which is the reason why, like, Marvel, you know, won't hire any of the older guys.
Yeah, hookers and booze aren't cheap, right?
Yeah, damn Skippy. You know, I'm not a young gun, you know.
I didn't know that
Yeah.
you were in advertising. That's cool. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
So I do a lot of advertising, but, you know, my first love is still comic books. So I still want to be in touch with the, you know, with the I guess the hobby or the, you know, there's like a collector's market that I do a lot of commissions for, and you know, and I demand enough, you know, I guess reasonable price for my pieces that I'm still doing them. But I do have some comic work coming along independently. There's like a Cave Woman special I'm doing for Emerald Basement Comics, you know, the Bud Root.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then there was this a TNA series called Razor that came out in the 90s.
Oh, yeah, by London Night Studios?
Right. It was a horrible character. You know, it's just with these huge knives in her hand, and, you know. Anyway, a friend of mine bought the rights to the character, and, you know, he wants to revamp it, so I'm going to be writing it and drawing it. It should be out next year, so I'm working on that.
Excellent.
Cool.
Excellent.
You know. So I'm still in there, and I'm still doing commissions at shows. Still doing my brush and ink little
stuff.
workshop.
Real ambitious stuff. Now you still got what level is it where you go? Because these guys were telling me that you were working on one back at the Room that was real ambitious. It was like a over the top one with a lot of characters or something you were doing.
Really? Oh.
Was it at Chicago or was it at San Diego you were working on that one?
Well, the thing now is that
it wasn't a regular commission. It was a bigger one, I think.
Right. Well, I've been getting a lot of multi-character commissions lately, you know, which is kind of cool because I like doing these like team commissions and multi-character commissions because I kind of get to tell a little story with it, you know. And I just to get to it's like doing these commissions at cons are more like boot camp for me. I love, you know, pulling out the brush and just, you know, playing around with it, you know. And then I go home and I work on other stuff. But, you know, yeah, it's a lot of multi-character commissions. So I can't do them. You know, usually I can sit at a show, and you've seen me, sit at a show, you know, pull out my tools and start drawing away, and it's great. You know, and you talk to the fans. Man, San Diego was just just too much. I couldn't even work there. Because I'm too busy actually just, you know, bullshitting and talking because I run into so many people that I didn't get anything done. So on the Saturday of San Diego, it was so packed that I decided not to set up. I was up by the pool at the Omnia, and I started like drawing my commissions by poolside and just and I kept phoning in my friend.
Nice country, America, huh?
I had a friend of mine.
I was back behind a booth that was like a General Motors plant, and this guy's by the pool. I love it.
Well, my list got filled pretty early, so, you know. So I just did the pieces on Saturday, and Sunday morning I went in and just, like, gave them out, collect the money, and then, you know, enjoy myself a little bit. Because every year, 1 year, I think I set a personal record for myself. I did 27 commissions in one show.
Wow.
Yeah, that was enough for me, man. You know, I needed the cash that year, so, man, I didn't get to go out with anybody. You know, I didn't see anyone. Yeah. I sat at the booth and stayed in the hotel room and finished up these drawings, you know.
You were so busy in Chicago when we saw you.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, plus, you know, I like doing the Chicago show because, you know, the Wizard guys treat me really well. And, you know, I got a lot of friends I only see at, you know, certain shows, you know, because they don't travel, you know, and just to run into a few artists that I don't see often enough, you know, so I'm kind of you know, catching up with them and spending some time. It's pretty cool, you know, and then try to get some commission done at the same time, too. So it was a lot of fun.
You took off Saturday, didn't you?
I'm sorry?
No, I'm saying the Peter and those guys, they went to the beach on Saturday.
Yeah, really?
Saturday?
In San Diego, yeah. Saturday afternoon, we left about 2 and went to the beach.
So the fuzzy blowjob on the beach wasn't a drink then?
Yeah, no, I was the one who was still at the freaking show trying to find you, Buzz, to give you that damn list, and I was I was getting so pissed off every time I walked over your damn booth and you weren't there.
I went back to the hotel and he was by the pool like David Niven, standing there.
I was like,
walking around like Ricardo Montalban.
You sent me the picture.
I go, look at this son of a bitch. I'm over here, my tongue is hanging out. I'm so tired.
Mm-hmm.
I go back, and he's sitting by the pool, and he's like, he just gives me that look, like, yeah, how was it? And I'm like, and I could tell this guy's he's tan, and tan Asians by the pool don't grow on trees.
You're right. Well, I'm almost like Filipino now. I got so much tan.
Usually they're giving out the towels.
Oh, Buzz,
Ooh, a good one.
But it was just like, son of a bitch, where the hell is he?
Well, I had a sign at my booth, and Saturday on San Diego, I had a friend of mine putting a sign said, I'll be in at 2 o'clock, and then 2 o'clock rolls around. I looked over the pool, and I saw the line. I was like, okay, make that 4 o'clock. And poor guy, kept scratching off the hour, and then keep adding the next one.
It was like I Love Lucy. He just kept changing the time.
I think eventually just said...
By 5 o'clock, it just said, put in tomorrow.
Yeah.
Date to when he'll be back. When he's in artist alley.
I left a notice that, I'll be back tomorrow. And then I said, bright red or slant eye and bushy tail, and they had they can choose which one. So it was cool.
Buzz, did you get to give rickshaw lessons again this year?
Oh, yeah. But the rickshaw guys getting out of control, man, in San Diego. 4 or 5 years back, there was only a handful of them. It was kind of a novelty thing. Now they're everywhere. I'm like, holy shoot, I mean, they sprouted and reproduced like freaking Chinaman. I swear to God, So and every time you get out of a building or a restaurant, whatever, hey, you want a rickshaw? You want to ride? Finally, last year, I came out of a bar drunk, and I was like, fine, but I want a skinny white boy. I want a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, really skinny white boy to take my fat ass back to my hotel. And there was
That's
one.
how it all starts out, guys. That's how a lot of Buzz stories start out.
I got on it, and I
blind guy to take him back to the hotel.
This poor guy went uphill, both ways.
I never had that problem, man. They see me walking down the street, and they go the other direction. They never ask me if I want to ride.
I've accidentally broken my legs. I can't tell you.
It's not good.
And I was torturing this poor guy, when he was taking me back to the hotel. He had a good sense of humor. I kept going, yeah, that's right, take it, bitch. It's like, there's a payback for all my brothers. Then I realized there were no Burmese people over here, back in the days, building railroads. So I don't know what the hell I was talking about. But it was fun.
I have to thank both of you. Just, every time we get a listener that comes up to our booth or they email us and they say, I met Buzz, I met Sal, and they're, oh, God, they're great people, and I went to go buy the thing from Sal, but he wouldn't let me pay. I mean, it's just been really cool how the listeners, how great you guys treat the listeners, and that they're seeking you out and supporting you guys.
They're all
awesome.
Nice guys, man. They
Because
never say that Buzz didn't make them pay, though.
No.
Buzz is always
I let them know it's a pleasure.
That's right. They're nice guys. I mean, what I love about the fan base is that they're just regular guys, like us. They're not, some cons you get different types, but for the most part, I'm just fond of just the regular guys, man. The guys, blue collar dudes that are like us reading comics just because we still enjoy it and not after for the signatures and all the rest of the stuff.
Well, you've got to remember one thing, well, at least for me anyway, I know first and foremost I'm a fucking geek.
Yeah.
This is what I love, and I'm glad I'm doing it, I mean, I'm always going to be a fan first.
Yeah, I agree. I'm the same way. I make no apologies for this stuff, man. I love it, and it's what I do, and if anybody's, sometimes you can meet some creators, and I'm not going to mention any names, but they come across like, they even brag that, I don't read comics, or, kind of imply that they're too cool for this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, okay, right,
Yeah. I'll name them.
No, I'm the same way. I'm really into this stuff. I mean, I have to, unfortunately, I'm into more of the older stuff. I don't really follow as much of the new stuff as I should, but I'm such a big fan of the old stuff that,
Oh, no, well, I mean, I kept reading all the old stuff, too. I love the archives and all the essential stuff. They're brilliant, man. Especially the black and white ones. You look at it and you go, you don't even need color. I mean, just like the storytelling's much better back then, Mm-hmm. And just the standards were much higher back then, too. And nobody's like, no one was light boxing photographs and taking, Polaroids of friends to freaking draw pages back then. You know what I mean?
There was no chap yap in those days?
Chap yap always have to freaking cover the
There was no
conversation.
chap yap? Because I can't never get past the name. I'm just it's like,
Chap yap, Pop Mung,
yeah.
Deetron,
I
Decon, Formula 44D, whatever the hell.
I
these guys'
can't
names.
get past the names, man. You know,
Yeah.
back in the Image days, they had so many of these guys that were just cloning the stuff out. You know?
Oh man, there was a time when I thought like Mark Silvestri just like stood by the by the pier and it was just getting the kids off the boat. Every single name was like Tutran, Detron, whatever. There were all these Vietnamese kids. It's like where the hell they come from?
Sweatshops.
At one point, I was going to give myself a last name and call it Lee because there were so many Lees in the business, like Jay Lee, Jim Lee, Pat Lee.
What is your do you ever say what your real name is?
Yeah, it's Buzz.
It's
But
Nia choosy, hey, Jagoff. That's how he refers to me. I always love it when like people will come, they'll go, yeah, somebody came by the booth looking for you. I'm like, well, who is it? They're like, he asked where the chubby guinea was. There's Buzz.
The other Dago bastard. Yeah.
Where's the Dago bastard? Like, that's Buzz. And I go, well, what happened? They go, I don't know. I didn't say anything. He was very intimidating. I was Buzz.
So you guys are getting really good responses now since the site is getting more matured, right?
Chicago was phenomenal. I mean, it was we had the most listeners. We met the most listeners at that convention than any other convention, and I can see why they're so committed to that convention. Like you said earlier, I think it was Sal who said, they only go to that convention.
Right.
It's amazing.
Right.
It's a weird you got a weird tail off because you've got San Diego and then Chicago. I would say maybe for a lot of people, you can't do both. You can't afford the time or you can't afford to just go to both cons. So if you go to Chicago, you're definitely going to run into more, a lot of Midwesterners only go to Chicago because if you got Motor City and you got Louisville and you got Mid-Ohio and you got a lot of those cons, if you go to Chicago, I mean, no offense to the other shows, you kind of knock out all those shows.
Right.
You basically got the same exhibitors and a lot of the same fan base because I've done Mid-Ohio and Motor City, and I see the same people that I see at Chicago at those cons. Plus it's summer. It's a good time. It's a good
as big and great as San Diego is. I mean, I've ran into a few fans that that it was just way too big, and they never really got to do what they want to do. They just got lost in the crowd. They didn't get enough autographs, or they didn't get to buy enough stuff, and they go to the smaller shows just to, sort of like, get the stuff.
Although I have to say, man, no offense to Wizard Chicago, I think the New York show in February is going to take the second spot real fast.
It's New York. Okay.
Yeah, I think that New York con in the winter, it's February, it's a good time of the year for a show, and those guys that run that show are really doing everything they can to kick it.
Yeah.
Getting big name guests, and New York just always gets the press that Chicago's not going to get, and I think that's going to be the second biggest show in the country.
Well, the New York show also offers an element that the other shows won't, is danger.
Yeah.
You leave the con with that, HeroClix Galactus. I mean, there may be a couple of guys waiting for you outside. So it's fun, it's adventurous, it's
All family on 42nd Street.
Yes.
Plus, you're literally in the heart of Manhattan, so it's not like you have to go far for entertainment either. I mean, your Broadway's right there. The
right
Times Square's right there, and everything. Yeah.
You guys were there this year. You saw
Yeah.
how it is. I think next year's going to. If they're supposed to have the big room at the Javits, I think it's going to be even better.
Right. Yeah. It's just as long as they don't have the members of the Def Comedy Jam and freaking the Jay-Z's crew doing the security, then we'll be all right.
Yeah.
Holy.
The only drawback I can see, and people on the West Coast would just absolutely laugh at it, is if we get slammed with some kind of like snowstorm.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just the cool thing about it is it's in February. What sucks is it's literally the weekend before WonderCon.
Right.
Which is fine because obviously, it's at opposite ends of the country, so I don't think it's either show is going to cancel the other one out. But it's just for us, it's a bitch to do both.
Right. Well, we've had in the previous years. Like I think back in '94, the last show they had there, there was a snowstorm and it didn't stop them. Trust me, a good show, people will still go there.
Yeah, it's like
again, we're not in the suburbs somewhere, snowed in. I mean, there's places to go, there's things to do. If you can't make it into the show.
Yeah, I was at that show in '94. We came up, and it snowed 2 feet on that Friday before the show.
Oh yeah, we had about 33 or 34 snowstorm that year.
Yeah,
nonstop. Yeah, it was like cars were blocked in, and it was ridiculous.
The attendance was good though, wasn't it?
Oh yeah,
it was.
Yeah, back then, I mean, New York Comic Con back then, the Greenberg shows were like number 2 after San Diego, and it should be that again.
Buzz, you still live in New York?
I live in Brooklyn. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So I went from living in Spanish Harlem to Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn. So I used to live in Flatbush. I like to stay where it's warm. Where it's more colorful, Yeah.
What the heck just happened?
Okay, you guys are breaking up a little.
Yeah.
Either that or I'm having a heart attack.
Yeah, I break them. I can't hear you.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have to call Sal back. I think
yeah, either that or he's got whooping cough, one or the other.
Who's masturbating close to the mic, man? It's not to
Jamie,
stutter here.
that's
That'd be me.
That'd be Matt.
Hold on one
Switch hands
second.
so we can hear you.
Hold on 1 second.
All right. They put a brand new...
All that advertising work, you didn't pay his phone bill.
I thought he replaced a new gerbil in the wheel or something.
Since 9/11, they won't give him from Burma telephone.
Hey, 2 Dixie cup and a string, man.
That's right.
So where are you guys going to be next? What conventions are you going to hit?
Baltimore. Well, Sal's going up to Toronto this week.
I'm going up to Toronto, and just because it's just, I don't know, I went the last couple of years, and it's a good show. And it's close to Chicago. It's literally like 35 minutes north of here. So I get on the plane, and it's like, boom, you're there. And then Baltimore.
I'll be in Baltimore.
Because then after Baltimore, they have the Retailer Summit, so I need to go and bribe retailers to buy Atomica. So.
I think actually Sal should just have an empty booth where he sits there with a mic, and then they have like a glass jar, and you go in and you
talk about stories.
You put a dollar in, and you insult the guy, and it's like Don Rickles,
No, come on, guys. You know me. I'm just like a beacon of sensitivity. What are you talking about? I just had more of your listeners busting my balls about my suit at San Diego.
Well, I have to
I don't know if they
say,
expected me to have an organ grinder with a monkey or what I was supposed to have when I was there, but
Hey, come on now. Let's not talk about Angel Medina like that.
Hey, you said it. I didn't say it. Angel.
Come on.
Angel's the sweetest guy I know.
Yeah.
He's small, but he's the sweetest guy I know. He gets caught in spider webs from time to time.
I like Angel. I'm nuts over him. Literally, he's that tall.
Angel's got to get a stepladder to blow Buzz. So. All right, I'm sorry. I'll be serious. We were doing
there's
so
another
well.
one.
I was keeping it under the PG, and then and now the next time I see Angel, he's going to have to go on about how I said he blew somebody. That's great.
Again, yeah. I know.
Again.
So,
I don't want to. I shouldn't make fun of his hobbies.
just thanks for killing another artist for us.
Oh no.
We only kill the ones we love, man.
That's right. But now, what about you guys? You got the tour doing again this year, right, or no?
Yeah, we're going to be in Baltimore.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, the Yankees are in town, so maybe we'll have to catch a game.
I should
I
have some
would love
treats
to
for you
catch
guys,
that.
by the way.
What's that, Buzz?
I should have some treats for you guys.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
We'll be there in full force, man. It's
Okay.
everybody.
Yeah, I've never been. I went last year I couldn't go. I got married. Should have went to the con.
Did you notice the pause?
were you making sure she was out of the room?
I didn't pause. You paused. I didn't pause.
He was,
I don't pause, you pause.
The year before I went, but I only went to the retailer conference. I didn't go to the con, so I don't know how it is. I heard it's good, though.
It's
know?
a great
it's
show.
a really nice show.
It's very, what I like about it, it's very artist friendly.
Yep.
Yep.
And it's like, I mean, you'll see the artist Ellie's amazing, and it is very comic related. You won't see any, games or toys or, promoters there. And I like that. So is Charlotte. Heroes, the same way. I mean.
Yeah, same weekend as Philly this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Charlotte,
Yes.
Oh, man, that's going to be tough. 'Cause
Yeah,
I do Philly
see what
every- but I heard Michael Golden's going to be in Charlotte.
And Charlotte, I'm there.
Hell, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, he never does cons, right?
No.
that's my god. I mean, that's my hero.
I'm there.
Him
I'm so
and
there.
Garcia Lopez. So.
There you go.
Say Kevin's now jerking off.
Oh my God.
And Garcia Lopez is another guy. He doesn't do a lot of cons, right? I mean,
He was in-
No.
He was
I
on
mean, he
New
was
York.
at the New York show.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
That's
was.
why I didn't set up. I got to play Geek for a change. My two of my favorite artists were sitting next to one another. I was just fawning all over them. It's Kevin Nolan and Garcia Lopez.
Wow.
Yeah.
And,
Lopez doesn't speak any English, though, right?
No, yes, he does. He
little.
speaks enough. Yeah.
Very
Nice, quiet guy. As a gentleman. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a great guy. And
He's in my top.
I actually bought a piece of artwork that had both their work in it. I managed to find a page from Strange Fate
Yeah.
that Garcia Lopez pencil and Nolan inked, and I got them to autograph. See, I got my geek moment out right there. So.
Cool.
Cool.
He's in my top 5 artists. Garcia
Yeah,
Lopez.
really?
Oh
Garcia
yeah.
Lopez is unbelievable.
Love
Doesn't
his
I think just
Yep.
he's one of those guys just doesn't get it. I mean, he does. He gets a lot of credit from guys like us who know, but
Right.
you mention him to fans, and a lot of guys don't even know who Lopez is. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you see, he's known and respected by his peers.
oh yeah, he's one of the best.
He's an artist, and that's, I mean, that's
And so much art that you've seen over the years on, whether it was used commercially or otherwise, people don't even realize that was him.
Yep. Run from lunchboxes to T-shirts.
Yeah, all that stuff. That's all usually him.
So Buzz, who else do you like?
As far as my tastes kind of go all over the place, but here, in the mainstream stuff right now, who's like Garcia Lopez, Nolan, I love the old masters, also like Buscema and Neil Adams, Alan Davis, even older guys like, well, they're not around anymore. I like Frazetta. Frazetta's still around, but the like Meg Raboy, Foster, stuff like that. And then sort of the mid-modern guys like Michael Golden, Brian Bowen, Don Newton, passed away a long time ago, And as far as like guys that are working in the biz today, I mean, I like Adam Hughes, and he's been around for a while actually. He's no new young gun either, And guys like Walt Simonson, And then of course I have my influences from like European guys too, like Zafino. Jordi Bernet, like Sapietti, even like there's Chinese guys like Ma Wenshin, and Japanese guys like Yoshitaka Amano and Ryuichi Ikegami. Okay, stop me if you're starting to get
Randy
confused.
West,
Randy West,
Harry Reid,
Harry Reeves,
Chap Yap.
Harry Peretestes,
Harry Peretestes,
Ron Jeremy.
One Hung Low and One Long Hole, the twins. Yeah, tie my shoe, chew my food.
Seymour Hare. Those are some of mine. Randy West and
Frida Slave, yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
I can see a lot of those artists that you mentioned, the early guys in your artwork, Buzz.
Yeah, so you can see a lot of Neil Adams and Buzz.
Oh, right. My first influence was Neil. But I wasn't a kid who was trying to draw like Neil. I was trying to figure him out, and you can't. You got to know how to draw, This is what I'm saying. It's easier for a kid nowadays to pick up a Batman comic book and learn how to draw like Jim Lee. You can't do that with Neil Adams. You can't just start tracing stuff and then figure it out, But these guys, I mean, most of the hot guys now, you can figure them out in a couple of issues because they're drawing the same fucking thing over and over again anyway, But like Neil was my first influence, and Kirby, Buscema, And I think like Alan Davis might be like one of my favorite now these days because this guy can like do a certain quality of work like monthly, and he's been doing that for like 20 years, And those are the guys I really, really dig. You can see the influences in my work, especially lately. Like I've been, sort of doing the approach like a Kevin Nolanish approach with my brush. Which means I look at a lot of old Frazetta line art from like Johnny Comet and all the romance stuff back in the 50s. It's pretty cool.
Did you guys how did you guys meet? Where did you actually meet each other?
I used to work at a takeout place called Golden Walk, south side of Chicago, and Sal was a big fan of Chinese food.
No, it was a want ad. Cut and fuck 250, and they deliver.
Except it was more like me so horny, me love you sometime.
No, it was a Burma special on a Friday night one time. I only had about $18.
No, actually,
I was working. What you were working? You were working. He was working at Harris.
I was doing Vampirella at the time. I met up with Alex Ross at the Heroes Con in '94, I believe, and we struck up a conversation and became friends. And he was telling me about this gathering of artists on Thursdays in Chicago, where they used to get together and play volleyball, and then they all hang out at this bar. And there was like a sort of like a brotherhood, like a brethren of artists with no egos.
It was more like a daisy chain.
Yeah,
pretty much. So I went to the Chicago Con, missed my flight, called up Alex and crashed on his couch for a day or two, and then I started coming back. I started meeting everybody on Thursday. I mean, I was flying in from New York at least 2-3 times a month, like on Thursdays, just to go and hang out with the artists, because there was nothing like that in New York. All these artists that live in New York, all have egos, and they're all very cliquish, and they're all part of either one crew or the other, and kind of a pain in the asses, So anyway, I became friends with Angel Medina, and he was telling me, hey, you got to meet this guy named Sal. He's trying to break into the business and whatever, and you kind of have a
still
crowd.
trying.
Yeah. So
nothing's changed.
And see if you can check out his artwork, because I think your sort of taste in art kind of have a broader horizon. Maybe you can help him out. Now, this is what he told me. I hadn't met Sal. I don't know what he looked like, but from what Sal told me, that it was like about 4 in the morning. He was at
4 in the morning. Regardless of any bullshit he tries to tell you in the PC level, I was sitting in a restaurant at 4 in the morning with
Angel. Yeah.
With Angel?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell because he's sure he doesn't sit high enough on the booth. Unless you get a Yellow Pages, his feet don't touch the floor.
You didn't get him a booster seat?
This guy just comes and just like knocks me out of the way on the booth, moves out of the way, starts eating my food at the booth. So I'm like, well, who the fuck is this guy? But he seemed nice enough, and we were shooting the shit. And then the next day, the guy that ran the comic store that we used to hang out at goes, hey, Sal, you really need to talk to this guy, Buzz, because he's doing, for the New York show. At that time, it was at the Javits. They had a big show in New York, and so I said, yeah, okay. He's like, you really should meet this guy, because he's like the hot new thing in comics. So sure enough, I meet him, and it was the same pain in the ass that sat down at my booth at 4 in the morning.
That wasn't even that. It was before that was the wake-up call, remember? Yeah, I called Sal the next morning. Mind you, we were up till 4 or 5 in the morning, drinking, partying. I called him up like 9. And he picked up the phone. He's like, "Who is it?" I go, "Hey, you guinea bastard!
And
you want to go to New York?"
Yeah, you want to come to New York? And so I was just like, "Oh, he's calling me guinea bastard." And normally nobody calls me until at least 9:30. So we just, we hooked up, and then I went to New York, and Buzz, showed me around and took me up to Marvel, and they handed me my ass and said I was crazy. And he took me up to D.C., and they handed me my ass and said I was crazy again. My work was just like a car wreck, and it went from there. We started hanging out at cons.
I took him, and then I had a friend take him to the West Village, and they kept his ass.
Yeah. Because Buzz in those days would be around, and then he would disappear. He was like a vampire. He would disappear for 2 days, and then he would come back. And, based on the amount of tampons he had hanging on his belt, I knew there was something going on.
I have no rebuttal.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Uh-oh, we're getting stuttery.
We lost Sal again.
Oh, shit.
Man, that dial-up, I'm telling you, get cable. I got cable all because of Sylvia Saint, I used to have dial-up, and it would take me like 3 hours for like 2-second clip of her blowing some costume. And I was like waiting, keep getting locked off. So fuck it, I'm getting cable. Yeah.
She's definitely worth it.
Wait a minute. You're not implying that you get porn on the internet, are you?
Ox Pass, baby.
Yeah, that's right.
All of a sudden, it sounds like a freaking Tron.
You
guys are breaking up again.
Now it sounds something like out of THX 2000 or something.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
One more time, and then.
It's probably the cheap one. I got the phone that you get like when you get a full tank of gas. Give you a telephone. That's the phone that I got.
No. You mean the old cell phone, like a brick?
Yeah, no. It's when you put it down on the receiver, it makes the shape of a football.
Like
when you get like you pay for a year of Sports Illustrated.
Oh my God! I like the old one that looks like the handrest on your sofa. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and you need like an attaché case full of stuff for to receive the signal, and you know. You see all these, like, drug dealers walking around with these. You can tell them, too, who were the drug dealers. They were the only one with these big block of cell phones, Yeah.
So, Sal, we went to Gino's that Friday night on your recommendation.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you guys were going to, because not a lot of people are into the Chicago style when they're not from Chicago.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, I mean, it's not for everybody, but we're retarded here, so we got to have, like, a manhole cover for a pizza.
Oh yeah, the Chicago style pizza. Yeah. Heart attack on a freaking with some cheese on it. Yeah, I love that shit. I lived on that when I was when I used to. Well, actually, I lived in Chicago for a little while. I got so tired of flying out there every other Thursday. I took an apartment for the summer. And as Sal liked to put it, the 6-month-long barbecue that never died.
The city passed an amendment to get him to leave because the property value in the neighborhood went down.
And it was the slums.
Yeah, because he was having so many parties over there, and it was like he'd have these barbecues that would never end, and they would use the same meat on the stove, but yet there was no refrigeration anywhere nearby in North America for these guys. So you had like this pot of brown meat that they kept using for a barbecue all summer long. With something out of 7, It was just like all these air fresheners hanging around.
Well, I did clean up the neighborhood from all the stray dogs and cats, though. Hey,
he went for the easy one. I didn't go there. See, then I would be racially insensitive if I said that or I implied anything about dogs and cats. But Buzz is actually going to be opening a small martial arts studio in his neighborhood now. He tell you about that?
No.
Oh no. I went for another obvious one.
Obvious one, yeah. Yeah. There aren't any real good Asian superheroes,
The Atom is now Asian.
Well, listen.
Yeah, but he's small. See, there you go again with the insult.
What about the guineas? You got one
Ultimate
guy.
Wasp?
You got the Punisher. That's it. And he's always pissed off and killing people.
Well, at least he's doing something. Well, what do they have at Marvel? Fucking master was a master of kung fu. He doesn't even have a uniform. He doesn't have a costume. He's got a bathrobe on with no slippers. And he's supposed to go out and fight crime. Come on, get out of here, man.
Funky pajamas.
Jesus.
What
Yeah,
about
pajamas.
G.I. Joe?
He wouldn't even get a
What's,
headband. He used his waistband. He put it around his head.
What
We
about
got nothing. We got one guy. You got no guinea love at all in the superhero world.
What about Quick Kick on G.I. Joe?
Quick Kick.
There was also Jinx.
Jinx. I don't know. Like I said, there's no guineas at all. We get Frank Castle, and it's
It
like
was
the
in a
movie was
castle.
real
What the
bad.
hell?
So and he wasn't even a guinea in the movie. They took that role away from us. So.
Well, but wait a minute. Didn't they have there was a Puerto Rican superhero. Was it Vibe from JLA?
Yep.
Yeah.
The old white
Peter's Pinup.
The White Tiger.
White Tiger, yep.
Yeah. Oh, see,
You got 2. I got 1.
The new Hawk Girl's actually Hispanic.
Is it?
Yeah,
Like it's
convenient.
Hot girl
Sunfire, another one?
Hispanic?
The new one.
Conveniently, yes, she is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, she
Well,
carries
Sa-
the mace thing, so she's got to be Puerto Rican.
Been made.
Sal, we got Huntress. She's Italian.
That's right. Now listen, they're not going to let any guineas in the Avengers
Yeah, I know.
Mansion. Trust me.
Unless we're delivering a pizza.
Unless they deliver the pizza or they're cooking.
they're cooking.
Well, they got the one X-Men. They got the one mutant in X-Men, the Guinea who's in there, is the one Italian without any hair.
Yeah, Guido.
Yeah.
He's got no chest hair. He's got no body hair. Nothing at all.
The strong guy?
Strong guy, yeah.
Yeah. It's like a retarded Tintin, right? Yeah. Like a mutated, like, Tintin on steroids, a little wispy hair. Yeah. Oh, my God.
So what do you know? What do you guys? What's an average Sunday night for you guys? What do you guys do? Or am I the only degenerate that does nothing on Sundays?
I'm waiting on Deadwood.
Are you?
Yeah. Well, no, not the TV series. I just mean,
Yeah, that's what my wife
Until you
always
get
does on Sundays. She's waiting on Deadwood.
This is what we do on Sunday night. Pretty
This is
much
what
every
you guys
Sunday
do?
is podcasting. Yeah.
I wait on Entourage.
Okay. Decent show. I like it. Entourage. Kind of upsetting at some point because, Kevin Dillon used to always play like the young punk, Now he's the oldest guy, and kind of depressing to see that, because, I'm his age.
See, Entourage is another one of those shows that makes you feel like unless you're driving a Bentley and you got like millions of dollars and you're running around with whores all the time, that you're like your life is empty and there's nothing going on.
We were kind of like Entourage back in the days, Batista was like Turtle, you were like E, right?
I don't know, man. I was just usually like, Parole, or I was, trying to like figure out. Everybody would always ask me, "Where's Buzz?" or "What happened to Buzz?" I'm like, I don't know. You just kind of like let him go.
No, where's the model? Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and just kind of hope that basically he didn't kill. It was like the werewolf. You just hoped he didn't kill anybody last night. You read about it in the paper, and you saw, okay, well, what happened last night? I don't know. So basically.
They bought me a naked American man stole.
You leave him alone and hope he doesn't take off his clothes.
I was waiting for this. Did you notice the segue he created into the naked? Yeah.
I haven't
You
heard
didn't think
this
they were
story.
going to let you? They were going to let you promote your art and all your artistic values unless I told the Buzz San Diego story. Did you?
The naked 96.
The naked 96, we like to affectionately call it.
You get naked once that I remember at a show, and jump an artist buck naked in the
But
hallway.
the only thing I learned from it is that Asian guys really don't have a lot of pubes.
So he doesn't have a ponytail down there?
No, he really doesn't have a lot of pubes. I guess for martial arts, it makes you more svelty. There's less rubbing.
Pain resistant.
There's less friction. Yeah, it's more like
more
swimmers.
aerodynamic that way.
Like swimmers shave their legs. Asians don't have any hair because Now, if you guys got time, I'll tell you the naked Buzz story.
I gotta
from
hear it.
San
We got
Diego.
time.
The underwear in the
time.
tree.
You got.
Do it.
Yes,
This was
go.
what, 10 years ago, right, Buzz?
96, yeah.
96. So
Yeah.
we're staying like Spanky and the R Gang. We're staying at the DoubleTree, and there's got to be at least 12 of us,
Right.
staying there.
Right.
And you couldn't get a bigger collection of jagoffs if you really went out of Central Casting. It was just a bunch of guys who had no. Buzz was the only one working, and everybody else was just hanging out. So this was the year that Alex was still big for Kingdom Come. So
yeah, right,
he goes, hey man, I'm going to be at San Diego. Why don't we have dinner, or why don't you come to this party with me? And anybody who doesn't know Alex doesn't drink, and Alex doesn't like to get crazy and howl at the moon and do that kind of stuff. He's just a real straight-laced guy. So he goes, hey, why don't you come to the graffiti party with me? There's free booze. Now I didn't have I was 30 cents short of a quarter in those days. So you tell me free booze, let's go.
I'm there, yeah.
So I leave this maniac with these other guys, which is basically like leaving them with a bunch of Boy Scouts.
Now, at this point, what he's forgotten to tell you, because he's jumping in the middle, the first half of the story was, I was staying at the Hyatt. They were all staying at the DoubleTree. So I was staying at the Hyatt, and I went up to the Hyatt bar. I got really, really drunk. It's so much so that on the way down, then Karen was there. This is his wife now. Then, they were just friends. And I remember in the lobby, some guy whistled at her, and I tried to start a fight with him. So Sal and Ken, who's Karen's brother, decided, hey, we should keep our eye on him. So they put me in a cab and took me to their hotel at DoubleTree to make sure, keep their eye on me. I still think I'm at Hyatt. So I didn't know I was in
He was
a
at the
Doubletree show.
Doubletree.
Yeah, so that's where Sal comes in with his party story. He leaves me there with these guys to keep an eye on.
No, I didn't. He left because there was depending on which part of the evening, there were this variety of whores that he was chasing around. So he's got a tit, one tit in his mouth, and another tit in one hand, and another, just fur burgers everywhere. So I'm just like, okay, guys, watch this guy is what I'm basically. It's like Juggernaut. Don't let him out. Don't open the fucking door. Just and they're looking at me like, we can't watch Buzz because he's more like a force of nature than it is like a human being. So I go to this party and I do things that lots of Alex doesn't like to do, like have fun and get drunk. So I come back and I'm all in a good mood, and I walk into the lobby, and I should have known to turn around when I got off the elevator, and there was a pair of underwear on the plant right by. Right when the doors open, I see a pair of underwear. And they're like, it's the old movie posters from Fist of Fury. And I go, God, who's got Fist of Fury underwear? So I start walking down the hallway, and I see a whole crowd of people, San Diego PD, in the hallway. And I go, wow, somebody's having a good time. Someone's having a party. And, I keep walking, and I go, shit, and someone's having a party right next to my room. And I get a little further, and I go, shit, those cops are in my room. So I walk in, and there's a naked Asian guy laying on the floor with handcuffs on. And his name is spelled just like Buzz's. I'm like, fuck, it is Buzz. That guy looks just like Buzz. Oh, wait, that is Buzz. So San Diego PD pulls me aside and goes, I go, guys, what happened? I'm playing, at this point, I'm playing Barney Fife. I'm going, guys, I don't know what's going on. And everybody's packing, packing their bags. We got to get out. So I asked the cop, I go, what the hell happened? They go, this guy, pointing at Buzz, without the guy without the pubes, got drunk, no shock, took his clothes off, and was running around the hotel knocking on all the doors. Because he was looking for the swimming pool.
Yeah, I thought I was still at the Hyatt.
I thought he was still at the Hyatt. Then he does go swimming, and he doesn't realize that the pool at the Doubletree has windows in it that lead to the bar that's in the hotel. Oh. So this asshole's in the pool naked, swimming, and his balls are showing in the bar window. Gets up, continues to run around, pounding on all the doors. Bear hugs Tim Bradstreet naked. I don't think Tim ever got the stains out of his jacket.
Or his pants.
And so the cops go, you guys got to all get the hell out of here because he disturbed the entire hotel. So I said, guys, he'll behave himself, I promise you. He's passed out. What's he going to do? He's like Bruce Banner now. He's just normal again. He's not the crazy Asian Hulk. He's just a normal guy now with long hair and bracelets and all kinds of jewelry on. And he's minus his underwear. And so finally I go, guys, he's not going to go anywhere. They let us stay at the hotel. He wakes up the next morning, and it's just a checklist of all the shit that he broke. Who broke the mirror? You did, Bob.
Oh, yeah. Every question I asked, answer was you.
Right.
'Cause I didn't remember anything. I was like, wait a minute, who took my clothes off? You did.
Right.
Who broke the mirror in the bathroom? You did. Who
got the maid pregnant? Who got the fat Jamaican maid pregnant? You did.
You did. I did it all in one night. Yeah.
Right.
Now, mind you guys, I don't remember any of this clearly.
Yeah.
For the next, 6 years, Sal told me the story, but he kept leaving out certain details, and you would have to wait till the next con for him to, fill in the details. So he tortured me for 6 years, and finally, 6 years later, I got the full story. I didn't know cops were involved in 97.
Oh, there was nothing.
And then 98 he told me about the handcuffs. 99 it was the swimming naked in the bar pool.
Right.
And I forgot what floor I stayed on. So when I got out of the pool, I went to every single floor, knocking on every room.
Knocked on every room's door.
Yeah, and so when I got to the floor we were staying at, with all the commotion, everybody's out in the hallway. I see Bradstreet. So I go, oh, look, somebody I know. So I ran and jumped him. and men hugged him and didn't realize I had no clothes on. So the next day at the con, I'm walking down, in the con. Tim sees me. He goes, "Buzz, come here for a second." And he put his arm around me. He goes, "I want to talk to you about something." I'm like, "Yeah." I go, "Tim's like, look, we're good friends, man. I mean, I love you like a brother, but I don't love you like that." So I pretty much went around just saying sorry to everybody just in case,
He never told me he was sorry, never. I had to explain to the cops that I made up some bullshit story. He's mad ever since Hiroshima. He never got over it, when they canceled Kung Fu. And the Kung Fu story he bought. He said, okay, Bruce Lee really should have been Kung Fu. That's why Buzz ran around the hotel naked. And the DoubleTree never let us back. So.
No, they even changed management. Now it's called the Horton Plaza, like Weston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was in the San Diego guide for a while they listed as the hotel that Buzz ran naked through the hallway.
They have a plaque there outside the elevator.
And the underwear were still there when we checked out.
You know what?
Sunday.
Even the maid wouldn't touch it. It was there for the next 3 days. I couldn't put it back on because it's become like an ornament by then. So.
Good time, man. It was a good time. We had a good time. I went to San Diego that year, without exaggeration. I had $80 to last me for 6 days.
Wow.
And I think I went home with money because all Buzz had was like a big bar. and he had a jar of peanut butter and a bunch of bananas, and we were just kind of, we were making do in those days.
Well, the other thing was, it's bad when the management calls you 3 times, 4 times a night asking us, do we need to refill the bar?
Yeah.
Yeah. My, the thing is, it was in, the first year we went was it 95 or 94? Everybody stayed in my room, and this was the first and only time Harris Comics ever let anybody have an expense account. And then back then, room rates were really cheap. It was like $69 a night.
Yeah.
And my bill was $1,800.
Jeez. Wow.
Yeah, and it was all mini bar.
Yeah, so Stanley Harris, the boss man, called me into his office with the bill. And he looked at the bill, he looked at me, he goes, well, I hope she was worth it. he thought
was he talking about me? Or was he
I think he probably thought I called her hookers and stuff and then billed it to the room or something,
And 2/3 of that were telephone calls. You'd look at the bill and you go, who the hell called Virginia and talked for 311 minutes? I'm like, why are you guys in San Diego if you're going to call home and talk for 4 hours? All I remember was he had one guy that was staying in the room, and all this guy made were fangs.
That was the New York show.
He brought custom-made fangs to sell at the con, and I thought, okay, you can make a living at just making vampire fangs, boy. There's something going on I don't know about.
That guy runs golf clubs now in New York now. Yeah. But the thing is, I was letting him stay there as a favor to a friend, but that guy was so annoying that I kicked him out. But he left his fangs behind, and a couple of us stepped on it. Didn't you get got stabbed? I
stepped on a fang in the bathroom. I'm like, guys, I don't ask for a lot. Just don't leave vampire teeth on the floor. Because in those days, we would have what I affectionately called a teabag effect. Not the kind of teabag that Buzz prefers, but the other kind of teabag, which was you had so many guys staying in a hotel room that by the time you got in to take a shower, you were 6 or 7 guys in. These guys would leave their underwear laying on the floor, and there'd be 4 inches of water, and then the water would consume the underwear and create like a teabag effect. Because there'd be a brown puddle around their underwear because they had bacon bits in their underwear. Mine were more like lightning bolts, but these guys had skid marks in their underwear, which would turn the bathroom into one giant brown puddle.
Oh. It always comes back to shit.
Yeah, so you have to step around these landmines to get to the bathroom, and then usually wipe yourself off with a paper towel because there were no towels left.
Well, it's a good thing you both have grown out of that phase, right?
Yeah.
Oh, who says we've grown out of that? We just stay in better hotels. That's all.
Yeah, the same. I shared a room with Simone this year, and probably this is a guy that he changed his underwear every day. Only he would put the old underwear on that he took off the day before. He had 4 pair of underwear for a 2-week trip.
Now he's talking about Simone Bianchi, this hot new young gun over at Marvel. You know, he did Signing Night for DC, and you know, he's a great artist. Yeah.
And I let him stay with me, but it's just one of those deals where I'm like, Simone, I don't ask a lot, but you really got to wash your ass and do it. You know, he walks around with Speedos on, and it's just he doesn't get that. You know, you got to like really wash your ass.
Well,
I don't know if it's a cultural thing or what, but
you know what? It's only him, because I hung out with the other two guineas, and you know they were pretty hygienically sound, except for Simone. You know, and they talk about Simone as, yeah, that guy's a stinky bastard.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he's got that odor, man. Where I'm like, Simone, listen, I'm your friend and all this, but we really got to give you one of them Silkwood showers where we just hold you down, rub your ass with like
throw a powder at him.
Like, you know what you need to get? You need like to get like one of those artificial Christmas tree branches and just like scrub his ass. Is what you need to do. I mean, like, just hold him down with like a Linko, like ammonia that my grandma used to use to wash the basement floor with.
You need those hoses that break up riots, you know.
You gotta get like a fire hose.
with the German shepherds.
Yeah, like throw them in one of those like defunct tanks they use at Brookfield Zoo for the gorillas. Because I'm sharing a room with them, and I'm like, Simone, it's like a fucking parakeet store in here. It's bad.
Oh my God! Like one time, like, I mean, and then plus, like, I guess. When we first met him, he's like, you know, he was eating healthy, and you know, he's all into natural stuff, which means he doesn't use any deodorant, you know.
Right, he doesn't use any deodorant.
And the guy would just, this man funk would follow him, and it had color. I mean, it was so bad. I'm like, man, take a shower. I go, what are you talking about? I just took a swim in the pool. I'm like,
yeah, that's right. He says he went swimming. Yeah, and I'm like, Simone, swimming categorically is not there with showering. I went swimming today. That doesn't include, like, you know, you washed your ass. I mean, it's one of those things where he gets like a real dirty SUV where you got to just take him and wash the undercarriage and all that. And he's staying in my room, and he's cleaning out the minibar every day, and because he thinks it's like the soap, he thinks it's part of the room. And I'm like, Simone, you realize that you're cleaning out the minibar every day, and you're drinking those Red Bulls like they're, you know. And he's already hyper. You guys met him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a great guy, but he's super hyper.
Right, but the smell isn't that noticeable when he's at the show, because you know how it is at the show.
Yeah.
Everybody else
Half the guys don't date either, you know. That's the only thing, man. I love the fans. I love the geeks, you know, I'm one. But, dude, yeah, you got to fucking take a bath sometime. It's not like, you know, you go down the aisle in a supermarket looking at a bar of soap and go, well, I can buy a nice bar of Irish Spring, or I can buy the latest issue of X-Men or something. But you know those goodie bags that they give out? If they give out bars of soap, that's so enough. If they give out bars of soap in shape of Wonder Woman, you know. But then again, there'll only be one area that'll be clean. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. You're real ambitious. I'm just at this point trying to get Simone to wash his ass. Because he ain't staying in my room next year if he doesn't wash himself.
Please let
the management demands that you wash your ass
I'm
when you
sorry,
enter the room.
man. He's putting on hold on. I mean, look at the pictures I posted on the website. He's got the same clothes on at the beginning of the trip.
Yeah, I asked you. I was like, hey, did you guys do all that shit in one day? He said, no, because he's wearing the same fucking shirt.
Yeah.
You know, I said, no, that's like in a week time span.
He saved all the room in his suitcase, he told me, to bring back comics and stuff like that, which is fine. But I'm like, Simone, then you need to get, like, disposable underwear, like a whore, and just throw them out.
Please let the listeners know that you know Simone. That you.
Oh, I love Simone. Okay. Simone is like, it's a dear, dear friend of mine, which is why I sit him down and I say, in fact, go on the website, go on mercurycomics.com. I put a picture of the shirt that he was actually going to wear at the con. And I said, because of Buzz, just Buzz alone, you can't wear that shirt because Buzz will never, ever let you live that shirt down.
Oh, my God.
I mean, this was something like that, right off Dance Fever that Danny Terrio wore.
No, Danny Terrio, I mean, if you show this to a Puerto Rican, he would say, hey, this is too loud, man.
Angel Medina wouldn't wear this shirt. That's how bad it was.
It was like, was it black with silver strings going around?
Yeah, it was like black shirt with the silver, but reflective silver.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was one of those deals where I said, Simone, that might fly in Italy, but really here you might want to, you want to tone it down a little bit. And I love the guy, but he's just one of those free spirits that just kind of never really got the connection between soap and water.
Thank God he can
Great
draw.
artist, and he's doing, again, he's going to, be a big star with Wolverine and all that, but he still needs to bathe. Because you're doing Wolverine doesn't mean you got to smell like Wolverine. You can actually draw him and not smell like him. You don't have to take on the character.
Hey, let's talk just a little business. Sal, what's the history of Atomic, or what's the lineup for the next couple issues?
Well, the trade just came out, thank God. So
Yep.
I'm actually,
Looks good.
exhaling now. And, number 8 is in the pipeline as we speak, which right now, with the colorist, and that'll take a couple of weeks. And then I'm going to resolicit everything because I got kind of behind schedule because of San Diego and Chicago. And but no, number 8 will be out in probably, I want to say 3 weeks. And then I'm just going to be back doing the Mercury thing now until the New York show. The next few shows I do are going to be all strictly for Atomica.
I proposed an idea to Sal about Atomica.
And I told him to do it, and
what do you guys think, man? It's like you remember the old Tales of Asgard comic? You remember Marvel put out back in the '60s?
Yep. Sure.
I was thinking about since Andrew and Sal created so many like really cool characters, like have like Tales of Atomica, like an anthology series, have like these 8 like 2 or like 3 8-page, 12-page story, like sort of feature each character like the State and Bravada, and have like different artists doing like 8-page, 12-page stories. Man, I thought that'd be cool.
That would be.
I could do one even like get Simone, Medina, even Ross. That'd be. You guys.
I told him
right?
we got it on record. It's an open invitation to Buzz to do anything he wants. I'll put it in the annual. I'll put it in. I'll put it in one of the issues. We'll do. There's a million things we could do with it.
Right.
That
So you
sounds
guys
good.
would dig that, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Because it
We could
does.
do one of the store with him at the hotel. Because he was naked. Atomica's naked. We could do that crossover.
Hey man, I'm really upset that you dropped the cock off Atomica, man. I saw that.
Well,
that piece, the Atomic cock piece.
Originally, when I started Atomica, he was supposed to be naked, like fully naked, where you saw his genitals. And then when you want to solicit things at Diamond, if there's any nudity in it, they won't put your comic with the comics. They'll put it with the adult stuff.
Right.
So I had to really kind of tone down the fact that originally I wanted him to just be naked. And I thought, well, like they did with, some occasionally in comics or in graphic novels, you'll see a naked guy. Nobody makes a big deal out of it, but
that was very generous, though. He gave him a huge Kremlin,
Yeah. And in the early days when I would send some samples to Buzz to ink, he would give all the files these real cute titles like Atomic Cock and things like that. So when I would send reference to other artists, they thought that there was something wrong with me. Steve Rude, when I sent Steve Rude the reference,
he won't open it.
He calls Alex because he goes, Alex, Sal sent me a file called Atomic Cock. And I didn't know what the hell it was. And I'm like, Alex goes, did you send Steve Rude a file called Atomic Cock? He said it came from you. And I go, that's Buzz. It's got to be Buzz. Because I just forwarded him the inked piece. I didn't look at what Buzz renamed the file of the damn, of the splash page. So Steve Root to this day avoids me because he thinks I want to date, thinks I want to pick out curtains with him or something.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry. I'll be serious.
But yeah, we'll be in Baltimore, and anybody who is interested in getting commissions from me and going to be in Baltimore, once you pick it up, you can contact me through my website, juzzbuzz.com, and whatever you want, and you can pick it up at the show if you're interested.
MercuryComics.com too.
Yep.
If you want to see Buzz's shirt, go to Mercury. Simone's shirt is just
Simone's shirt and Buzz's underwear. I wish we were taking a picture of the underwear on the plant, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get JC to, give us.
We got some pictures from 10 years ago at San Diego, and it's the only thing that just comes across is A, how desolate San Diego was in those days, and B, what a fat bastard I've become.
And we were all skinny. Oh my God! It was like everyone was about $160 to $180 at most back then, and we're not short either, So damn, bunch of beanpoles walking around.
I think those boots you wear kind of put a couple inches on your Buzz.
I'm about 6'1" with the boots, yeah.
Well, we look forward to seeing you out in Baltimore. We can't wait.
Yeah, guys, thanks for having us on. And really,
thanks
all
for
bullshit aside, you gotta. anybody who's not familiar with Buzz, you got to go to justbuzz.com because he's one of the best, and the kind of stuff that he does is just the line work he doesn't grow on trees. It really doesn't.
It grows on plants with the underwear. Yeah. But I got to tell you,
you guys know what I'm talking about, right? You've seen the time.
Definitely.
Yeah,
drafting skills.
enough about me. Seriously, guys, you guys are the best. I got to tell you.
You got a good show, man.
I talk about you guys in the show to everybody. And before it changes, and I know it will, once you get a little more successful and, you start making...
I told him, Buzz, next year I want to sponsor, I want to, jump on the sponsor thing and get him a room at San Diego next year.
Just
we'll get him the Buzz seat at the DoubleTree.
Just keep the heart of the show alive, guys,
Yeah.
I mean, you guys, it's like be proud to be a geek, you know what I mean?
Definitely. And you know what? If we don't, we know we have guys like you that'll smack us back down to where we need to be. So.
Oh, no problem. I always say, hey, look, if anybody says they don't like the show, tell them to suck my dick, all right?
See, and I haven't eaten dinner yet, so now he's just teasing me again.
That's our new tagline.
That's our new quote on the website.
Yeah, you got to put the quote on the website. Yeah, anyone that doesn't like it, tell them they can suck my dick. Not mine, because I got the standard Army issue. Buzz has got the one.
I have no pubes, so that's,
He's got the one out of mythology.
And Sal,
Thor's hammer.
Sal, it was great meeting. That was your nephew Joey, right?
Yeah. It's like the next generation of shit stories. Yeah, no, it's my brother Tony's kid. He's a great. I was really had reservations about bringing him because it's San Diego gets crazy, but he worked out great.
Oh no, I love that kid, man.
I mean, he worked out fantastic. I mean, Buzz. I made the mistake of telling Buzz and everybody to keep an eye on him. So he's got stories that every time I see him, he's got a new story about what happened with Buzz and Jess and everybody. So.
I guess the first time we met him was out in Chicago, actually. So.
Yeah, he worked out great. I mean, he just got out of high school, so he's at that age where,
he's a great kid. He's a babe magnet. Oh, my God, man. It's like, who needs a puppy and a baby? Have Joey with you. Holy moly. I mean, like, there was, like, little girls, like they were running after this guy, giving out phone numbers and shit, man. This kid was doing good.
Well, Sal knows how to, he's got his troop there, right? Chris and John. And I still don't know the one gentleman's name that works with you, Sal, there, that we see all the time.
What, the curly hair guy?
Yeah.
Who, Justin? The Pride of Fremont?
Hillbilly? Yeah, he works. He's been working with me for a couple of years. He's friends with Chris at Roops Comics, and they're both from Fremont.
Yeah, John Cassaday's retarded twin. Yeah.
Pretty much. The Prince of he's got to do something with the hair, though, man.
Yeah, dude. Fucking call up Michael Bolton.
You got the Roger Daltrey thing from the 1965 has got to go.
Fucking Tommy.
Right.
But they're all good guys. Every time we go up,
you can't, as you guys know from the show, you can't do it by yourself. You got to have, good guys to help you, and it's a kind of a process of elimination. But we're really fortunate. We got good guys, and Chris over at Roops Comics does, helps me out and does a great job, and the other guys. And
remember, we bust their balls because we love them. We only pick on the ones we love.
Especially Angel Medina, honestly. He's the one. I mean, we've been busting his balls, but especially what he's doing on Spider-Man now, and he's the coolest guy you'll ever meet at a con too. He's one of us,
Well, actually, I can't really pick on Angel about his height anymore. I thought he was the smallest guy in the business. Then I met Frank Cho. Holy shit, man!
Frank Cho is a small man.
Yeah, if you stack Cho and Jim Lee, you get about one Buzz, right?
I think so.
Just the height, not the wallet. They got much, much taller wallets.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Well,
all right, guys.
I think we've taken enough of
Thanks
your
a lot,
night.
guys. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thanks for having me by. My apology goes out to everyone, that were offended by anything I said, and sorry if I did. And
check them out in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't wait to see you guys in Baltimore.
Yep.
All right. Take it easy now, guys.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Never a dull. Never a dull moment.
And now we breathe.
And that's pretty much the end of the show right there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's nothing else. It'll get lost. We have to do a beginning yet.
Okay, so
We'll be in Baltimore,
yeah, we'll be in Baltimore
so we'll buzz.
with those guys and Sal.
Full force,
Did he
dude.
say he was going? Or
Oh yeah,
just-
yeah,
Yeah,
Sal's
both of them.
going.
Yeah, both of them will be there.
Yep.
Oh God.
Oh,
That'll be
boy.
fantastic.
Goddess, here we come.
The goddess,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
A whole new level. We'll have to open another floor for us.
And we'll have a full house again.
Yeah, we're coming full force to Baltimore.
10 people.
Well,
Ten
and that's where it started last year. That was the first con we
That's-
were all
Yeah,
at.
that
exactly
was the
right,
first time
yeah.
we went.
Yep.
All
So
6 of us.
all the
plus significant
shenanigans
others,
will be there.
except for Tasha.
We'll see Peter's ass numerous times.
Yep.
There'll be lots of pressing ham.
God, I hope the hell
Fruit
not.
basket.
Yeah, fruit baskets all around.
Got to go to that. Oh no, that was Pittsburgh. That had that market. No, this is the train. We got to take
Yeah,
the
the
train.
train. Yeah, we
gotta take the
From
train,
center. Okay, right.
So can't wait. Can't
Yeah.
come fast enough.
That'd be fun.
That's right.
And again, do yourself a favor and go to justbuzz.com
Yeah.
and discover the amazing talent that he has. I was unaware of his work until I
Philly.
guess it was Philly.
Wizard World Philly was where I first came across his stuff.
And
oh,
then
God.
I saw it and I went, oh boy.
This year, right? Philly this
yeah,
year.
Philly this
okay.
year.
No,
That's
I've been aware of him since the early '90s. I saw his stuff on Vampirella and things like that, and I actually did talk to him in that show in '94 where we had the
Oh,
snowstorm and
okay.
stuff, and that's where I got to meet Michael Bear, which I ended up getting a sketch from Michael Bear from him, and because it was kind of like a group, like they all kind of hung
Right,
out, they knew
right.
each other and such, and I remember him from back from those days. So, but
Great
I know
people.
you don't remember me, but
Buzz is definitely top-notch talent.
Oh yeah.
yeah, very high class quality stuff. And also go to mercurycomics.com. Check
Yep.
out Sal Atomica and enjoy his stuff as well.
Yeah, because it's well worth it. It's just he
Phenomenal.
does great stuff too.
And he's right. The trade just came out, and he has it at the different conventions. And you can also go to mercurycomics.com, and you can order the trade or the issues through Roots of the World, and through they have a store section on there.
And look for number 8 to come out in 3 weeks.
Like, is that what he said?
Yeah,
yeah.
it says 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So
When it's shipping or when we hear about it, we'll
that
definitely
should be
mention
just right in time for Baltimore. Really.
Oh, cool.
You're probably right.
it. And definitely go up to see these guys. They're so personable.
Yeah.
They go out of their way to talk and
And tell them where you heard it from, because that'll make you. I mean, they're nice guys, all in all. But tell them where you heard about them, and then they're just gonna fall all over you.
Oh, yeah.
We thank them for all their support just as well.
You got it.
Yeah.
And we have a new quote for
Yeah, we have a new quote for the show.
I want that on a card.
We'll have to send that out with press releases.
Yeah, put that on. Put that on our postcards.
That's gonna be a new T-shirt.
Next T-shirt, yeah.
we just have it so it's like in the comics where it's all crossed like the symbols and stuff.
Okay, this episode of Comic Geek Speak was sponsored by comicbookdb.com. Comicbookdb.com is an online database of comics that works very much like IMDb, where every comic links to every creator, links to every other comic they ever did, and all back and forth and storylines, and there are covers and there are pictures of the creators, and you can actually use it to track your own collection. If you want to keep track of your collection. So, and it's all free. Just go to comicbookdb.com, and if you're so inclined, you can also enter comics into the database that haven't already been entered. So please check it out, comicbookdb.com. And to leave us feedback, it's comicgeekspeak@gmail.com. Or
bad, or
send your
indifferent?
letters to mercurycomics.com and justbuzz.com. And visit our website at comicgeekspeak.com. And please vote for us at Podcast Alley. You can do so by going to comicgeekspeak.com/vote. And to leave us a voicemail, the number is 215-279-8839. And a reminder that we're brought to you in conjunction with worldfamouscomics.com, your spot on the internet for the best comic book and entertainment-related columns, contests, features, reviews, news, resources, and more. And as always, we are uniting the world's mightiest heroes, one listener at a time.